Hello.
Hello. Oh, it's getting late over here. We're getting a bit we're going a bit crazy now.
I call it slap happy when I'm really tired and I can't stop laughing. That we call it slap happy. So,
Right. I just call it, oh my God, I'm on another planet, and which is kind of the Seven of Cups. Ish.
okay.
It's a bit delusional. I love that
It is a bit
picture.
delusional.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Well, I think for my traditional meaning, it was kind of fantasy,
For mine, it
imagination.
was for mine it was choices,
Yes.
but uh, I think there's so much more to it than either of those.
Oh
Love
yeah.
that dark figure that looks like he's startled by all this stuff coming up. It could be hallucination too. That could totally be a
Definitely.
hallucination card. Dude's tripping. But
Yeah.
I brought a list because I cannot ever keep this all in my head. So I'm not gonna read it boring, but I'm gonna let everybody know what each of these cups represents so they can see what the choices this young man is facing or young woman. I just always assumed he was a man. You want to hear?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, go
All
on.
right.
Yeah.
So the first one is a human head. Kind of looks like Medusa. I don't know why, but she's a human head and she represents love or beauty. Okay, then we got this shrouded, glowing figure with the big red around him or around it in the sheet. And I'd always seen that as the mystery, the unknown,
Yeah.
which I like for that
Yeah.
particular cup. But it's considered the burning need for self-illumination. So
I
we've
find
got
that
the
very
snake.
weird.
Yeah, I see it more as mystery. And this is why it's okay to know keywords or symbolism, but but you've got to consider your connection to the card. You've got to keep your own connection. And if something doesn't fit, like that burning need for self-illumination there because it's hidden, you can't force it. You cannot force your
No.
intuition to go where it does not understand.
Yeah.
So we've got the snake, and the snake is passion or
Yes.
desire or transformative knowledge that will transform your life. So I like both of those because that shakes Ned's its skin. Snake sheds its skin.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah,
like that. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like that. Then we have the castle over in the left again, or the
Yeah.
tower, and that is power and stability. I'd also seen it as an acquisition of land and I think they're called liquid assets, like housing, things you can't sell off right away.
Okay.
Yep. Then the treasure hoard is wealth and abundance. That's pretty cut and dry, right?
Yes.
Then the wreath is victory, honor, and status. So I like
Nice.
that. And then the dragon. Now it's kind of up in the air. So for the Christian, blah, 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 the deck being so Christian based, the Christian view of dragons is evil, envy, and calamity. And believe it or not, there are some people who would desire to be able to be evil or be cause calamity or the envy of other people. There are people who would feel that, but the entire world isn't Christian. And the dragon in modern times, I went and looked it up, in modern times means more of magic, fantasy, or
Yes.
the supernatural.
Yes. Yes.
So he's got to choose what he desires most out of those. In my opinion, why can't we have it all? Why we got to choose? It's like,
Yeah. No, that's interesting, that list. We should write that list up somewhere, actually.
Yep.
I can see it as choice. I can also see it as when you take a quick look at that card, you see 7 cups, and you have to look a bit harder to see what's in the cups, because the immediate reaction is, oh, there's 7 cups and they're all the same, but they're actually really not the same. Even the actual cups on that one that's got the wreath in it, hasn't it got a face on it?
And actually, it looks like a skull.
Yes.
And I don't know if that was intended art or a misprint. If it was a misprint, it's one hell of a misprint, because it truly looks like a skull. But is that saying that status and victory and honor, how could that be deadly? You know, is it saying that this would be a deadly choice for you? Is you know, any of those choices, if you choose the wrong one, say we go for beauty and we completely forget about information or wealth or abundance or knowledge, uh, beauty on its own is kind of deadly, because it fades and you're left with nothing.
Well, you've got that book, haven't you, The Picture of Dorian Gray?
Yeah.
But I can see this card as being confusion. It's very mutable. I can see it as being too much choice, like being overwhelmed by the amount of choice that there is, and kind of like overwhelmed by having to make a choice, having to make a decision. I mean, that's sometimes when people come for a tarot reading, isn't it? Because you can get very confused. Even if you've only got 2 choices, you sway from one to the other and backwards and forwards. I've seen it as window shopping.
I love window shopping. That's my favorite thing to do. Or
Yeah.
even in the same vein as what is that? Buyer paralysis. When you have so many options, like there's so many different types of, say, toilet cleaners, you don't know which one to buy. You just stand there looking at it like, what, you know?
I've got to be honest, I love eating, Sharon, right?
Me too.
And I love going out to eat. I love eating in restaurants, but mostly I love, and this makes me sound boring, I mostly like eating in restaurants that I know before I get there what I'm going to eat, because I get very confused when I have a menu in front of me and I want everything that's on the menu. You know, I find it very hard to make a decision.
Last time we went out to eat, I told the waitress I'll have one of everything, and she laughed.
But it is funny, but there is a sort of truth in that as well. I tell you what is good, like Spanish tapas, where they give you like little bowls of, you know, small amounts of everything.
Yeah, so you can actually
That would work
taste.
very well for me. And when I go to a party or something and they have a buffet, oh my God, it's deadly if I stand near the table, because I will just keep eating. I will just keep picking at everything.
And that could be one of the interpretations for that card as well. Not just that he has to make a choice, but he just keeps taking a little bit of everything as long as it's in front of him. Maybe possibly better suited to the reversal, that interpretation, because the body language he's showing almost looks like he's overwhelmed. Well, not
Yeah,
almost
it does.
about it, and that he's being forced to choose only one. And if you
Yes.
were forced to choose between those 7 attributes, I would be hard pressed to choose just one. I wouldn't want to choose just one.
And they are all quite different from each other, aren't they, as well?
Yes. Yes, they are.
I think it's a very fascinating card, actually.
It's one that can go so many ways. I can see illusion in it. I wouldn't want to be locked in illusion, because sometimes those choices are very real. I can see hallucination in it. Oh, hell yeah.
I think the cloud, the fact that they're all on the cloud, helps you to kind of believe it's a hallucination, or it's an illusion or something. That gives it that sort of mystical kind of fantasy feeling about it, rather than just actually really seeing 7 real choices in front of you and which one to go for.
Yeah.
I think the cloud gives it the illusion that it's an illusion.
I agree with you. Yeah, although I don't feel that it's always an illusion.
No,
It
no, if you were to sort of ignore the cloud completely, it can be saying, look, you've got quite a lot of different choices and they've each got something different to offer. So you need to look a little bit harder before you make your decision.
Yeah, there's nothing there that says he doesn't have time to see what he really
So
wants. Nothing there. It's just it looks like it was a sudden arrival because he's like, whoa, but nothing there saying it's going to be taken away. Now there has been a time or two where I've had this come up in a situation where mostly job related, where you got to make a decision quick, but you
yeah.
need to learn how to prioritize. You need to this lists of pros and cons of what you really want. Are you looking for that adventure? Or are you looking for security? I mean, all of these could
But
totally
it's
go.
very, this is very internet dating.
Oh God, yes.
And the fact that they're all like this, it's kind of like, well, I like skinny blonde women. Okay, here we have a whole load of skinny blonde women, but in actual fact, they're all very different to each other when you look a bit harder.
Yep. Yep. So really paying attention to what's in front of you.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
How about in the reverse?
Well, I think that is probably saying um overwhelmed by the choice, or you haven't got a lot of choice. Your choices are kind of slipping away,
Yeah.
or all
Or
your choices are terrible.
oh God, yeah, no kidding. Yeah, all your choices are I had a reading a couple of weeks ago where we did a this or that because she had a friend that was going through a situation and she wanted to know, well, what would be the best option for her to do in this situation. And none of the outcomes were really great, and she was really disappointed. She was like, yeah, that's what I was getting too. And I was like, but you got to think that sometimes the question, we're not going to get a happy let's go dancing answer. You're going to have a situation where nothing you do is going to make you happy. In that case, you look at the least damaging of the options. Does that
Yes,
make sense?
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Or
also seeing it as being forced to do something against your will, having no choice.
yes, yes, yeah, that's true. I kind of like sometimes feel as well, it might be saying, you don't need to make the choice now. It's like step away from it, because it may become more obvious to you tomorrow or another day, but right now you're not in the right place to make the best choice.
Right, absolutely. Or, there's another option you're not considering within these cups. Not one of those cups could be what you're really looking for or what you need.
Exactly.
Whereas upright, yeah, it's right in front of you. You just gotta look at everything closely to see it.
Yeah. Or if it was in reverse, you could just say, I think you could easily eliminate quite a lot of these if you kind of look again. Yeah, I don't think the choice is as difficult as you think it is.
Yeah,
Start
yeah.
eliminating the ones that are really kind of not working for you. I remember clearly two this or that spreads that I did. One of them was for my sister, where one of them, the thing that came up as being the kind of the obvious thing to go for, she went away and she came back the next day. She went, I've really, really thought about it. And I've realized that I don't actually want to do that. And even though that would have been the best of the choices for me, because it came out as the best, I really wish I'd never even put it on the list in the first place now. It's made me realize I didn't want that by having that come up as the kind of the first choice. So it was helpful in that sense. And I did it once for a man on the market. He wanted to know whether to stay in Cambridge or move to somewhere else. And whatever the answer was that came up, he was really, really disappointed that it was that answer. And I went, well, you've got your answer then. So even though the answer that came up of the best of the two options was, let's say the answer was Cambridge, I can't remember which way it went, his reaction to it was so disappointed, it made him realize that the one he wanted was actually the other one. So the reading still helped.
That's we've touched on this before. That's why we don't tell our clients what to do or how to do it. We give them advice, but we give them the entire picture so they can make their own decisions based on what we've told them. We're not here to make their decisions for them. We're here to give them all the information they're looking for. And in both those cases, the client and you did so beautifully because it helped them make their true decisions based on how something else made them feel or what they felt when they got.
Because they were disappointed by what came up as the best choice for them, and therefore it should not have been on the list in the first place. But and they didn't realize that.
If you had said, well, this is what you have to do, and they went and did it, but they were able, that is what tarot is best at, is not giving us the answers for the people, but giving us the information so they can make their best decisions.
Yeah.
Beautiful example. Man.
Yeah, this Seven of Cups is very interesting. Very interesting.
He's got a lot to say, that's for sure. And this one, oh my gosh.
Is this my one? Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen a Seven of Cups in this light.
I know, this is the Lunatic Tarot. And this is obviously going down the fantasy, the fantasy kind of like choice with this card. And obviously that is what is going on in this person's imagination.
Absolutely. I mean, you can even barely see the cups. I guess they've got all different pictures on them, these cups. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's just beautiful. That's beautiful. And one of the traditional meanings for the Seven of Cups, too, is temptations.
Oh, yeah.
Things to distract you from what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So she could be fantasy or temptation.
Yes, absolutely.
Dang. That's a dark Seven of Cups.
It's a very dark Seven of Cups. But, the thing is, what does go on in people's imaginations? Because nobody can control what goes on in people's heads.
Truth. Hell, I don't even know if we can half the time. It's like these thoughts that pop up randomly. Oh, where did that come from? But wow, she does not look
also,
happy.
I kind of like think fantasy sort of up to a point is normal, and fantasy is all right as long as you know it's fantasy.
Absolutely, as long as you know, yeah. Otherwise, it's very unhealthy. So, but I think fantasy, whether it's, I mean, it could even be fantasy to the point where it's saying relax and watch a really good supernatural movie or a fantasy movie, or daydream. Allow yourself to daydream, because there's so many people that say daydreaming is a waste of time, but daydreaming is where book ideas come from. Daydreaming is where entrepreneurial ideas come from. Fantasy in our head that we create into reality. So as dark as the card is, I think it could still be a healthy type of, fantasy going on there.
That to me is definitely the this fantasy version of the Seven of Cups.
Absolutely. And I didn't have any that showed the actual aspects of that card, but I really liked this Seven of Cups because you don't have the figure being overwhelmed. It's all beautifully presented. It's like
Oh.
everything's right there to choose. Although I don't know, I think the bat wings or the wings are the ones about the
The
hidden
dragon?
self. Yeah. Oh, that is a dragon. Where's the one
Because
for
you've got the
hidden?
girl, you've got the
Okay,
if that's the
beauty.
dragon, you've got the castle, and then you've got the snake at the bottom and the jewels. And
So this
then
must be the shrouded figure because it's got
oh,
that. Yeah. So that must be the shrouded figure. But in the Rider-Waite, that shrouded figure is the one that's most prominent, the one that's right smack in the middle. And in this one, it's the dragon.
that definitely looks like the dragon to me.
Yeah, it is. It is. Thank
Yeah,
you. And this is the Legacy of the Divine by Cheryl Machete.
nice. It's very
Yeah.
nice.
It's beautiful, beautiful art. Beautiful
But it's
art.
weird to just see the cups without the figure. I think part of the Rider-Waite is that figure. I mean, you don't always notice him, but you know,
Right.
sometimes you are just looking at the cups. And with the lunatic tarot, you are just looking at the fantasy figure, even though there are the cups there in the background. You know, the fantasy is kind of like the big deal. But I kind of think the confusion of that silhouette of that dark man is quite a sort of a big deal in the Rider-Waite that you do sometimes need.
I agree. Because this one with that sun, it has such a more optimistic, like shedding light on a situation. Whereas the Rider-Waite shows that confusion and what do I
Yeah,
do?
yeah,
Yeah, two totally different animals.
yeah. Interesting. So would you say you have many Seven of Cups moments, Sharon? Us with our Gemini moons?
So, so I'm convinced, I haven't found it yet, but I'm convinced that there's a little trigger placed on my left butt cheek, and that when I sit, it's like it's the trigger where it like goes in and I know what I'm doing. But the minute I stand up to go get anything, the trigger comes out and I forget and I have to sit back down again to remember until I stand up. Yes, I have a lot of mostly what the hell was I doing, or I'll get up to go get a cup of coffee and I'll get distracted by a tarot card or oh, what's this over here? Nothing gets
Yeah.
done. Gemini moon.
I had this card come up actually once. I was at a festival and a woman came for a tarot reading and she said, I want my husband to have one of these. I'm going to go and get him. And she came back a bit later with this great big kind of like, you know, very unlikely person to appreciate a tarot reading, but you should never make judgments. Never.
Truth.
But anyway, so he sat down, but you could really tell he was like, why has she brought me here? Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I got the Seven of Cups and I've got a feeling it was reversed. As far as I can remember, I think I did a little pre-spread to see what shall I do is reading about. And I think I got something to do with the home. Something to do with the home. I'm pretty sure that's what I got. And then I got the Seven of Cups reversed. And basically I said to him, have you got a lot of stuff in your house? A lot of things? And he went, yes, like loads of things. I said, I think you need a bit of a declutter. And I said, but I think you need to be really careful about this because I think don't just go throwing everything away. I think you will, and they'd moved or something from America to England or something like that. And his relatives from America were coming over to see their house. They'd been in England for a few years, and the in-laws had never been over before to visit the house. And I said, I think you'll find, if you have a clear out and a declutter, you will find things that are meaningful to you from your past and your childhood. And he went, this would be marvelous. He said, because when my parents come, oh my God, then we can talk about when we did this and when we did that. And it's like an hour later, we still haven't moved off that card. He was, and this was a person that you could tell walked into that tent with no faith in it at all. And I think he was completely resonated with the Seven of Cups reversed, and just the word decluttering, and that some of the stuff should not be thrown away because it was either really good stuff or sentimental value.
I love that interpretation.
It triggered him completely. It was extraordinary.
And had you ever had that interpretation for the Seven of Cups in reverse before?
No.
But it was perfect. That is intuition. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to tape that up to my wall right in front. I'm going to tape it in the middle of my computer screen. Declutter.
It is. Or you could say it's an emotional declutter with it being cups, or you could say it's literally a physical declutter, but you need to look inside of things before you actually chuck them, because they could be of value in either in real value or in emotional connection.
That's brilliant. I love that.
I'd forgotten that until just then, but that was a memorable reading.
I'm glad you remembered it and shared it with us. So again, it doesn't have to just be what we've said or the traditional keywords, or you just have to trust yourself, and if you don't say what you see, you'll never know that you're right. Because if you had said, oh, what the hell, declutter for the Seven of Cups, and never said it, you wouldn't have sparked him that way. He needed that message.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. No, it's always worth just having the courage to say it.
Say
it politely.
You're not going to come do a reading for me and say,
well, sometimes you get to know the client a bit more, and you can just say it how you would say it. But yeah,
tact is a good thing.
Oh no, that was really good. Have you got any more, or shall we sort of leave it there, right? And
let them make their own decision about the Seven of Cups.
And share with us any of your, fantasy stories that may have come out of this very interesting card. So
yeah.
Like, subscribe, and we will see you when we make our escape at the Eight of Cups.